All right, chosen one. So welcome back to another episode on Antonicus Aurelius Motivates. Chosen one. I just wanted to come to you this morning and just tell you, first of all, congratulations. I hope y'all are all doing well today. I hope you're feeling well. I hope you still have your head on straight right now during this time. Because, chosen one, you done came through a lot of the unknown totally alone. So, first of all, I just want to go ahead and give you props for that. And I just want to say, that's a miracle in and of itself. You done came through a lot of the unknown totally alone, with no one else's help but God. And you know how many of the people who came into your life only came to take from you, to use you, to exploit you, to take advantage of you, and then basically just to leave you for dead. But even after all of that happened, your faith carried you through, and God was right there with you, with his angels the whole time, bringing you through. And you know that all of this has been testing your faith. Just like it said this morning, where I read again about that in the book of 1 Peter, chapter number 1, verse 3 through 9. You've been being refined right now during this season. And chosen one, you already know that we are in a totally different time right now. Like, a lot of you are probably still in a lot of the same places you've been at, including myself. But you know that the times are changing, even though the place or places you are at or have been in may still be looking the same and everything on the surface level. You know that the times is changing all around you. And you know, because I've already done told you, that we are transitioning into a different time. And you know this because you can see it, man. You can see everything that's done happen. Okay? So you know that we are entering a totally different dispensation right now. We've seen how the system that we've currently been in is not sustainable any longer. And we've seen how they've lied to us repeatedly over and over again, and used the media and all of that as well to instill fear into us and to try to make us able to be controlled and manipulated, and make us able to be constantly in a negative, low vibrational state. And so this is the reason why many of you chosen ones like myself We don't listen to the propaganda that comes on the television no more, or the news, because it can't be trusted. And so you already know, chosen one, if you got your head on straight already, you already know that you can't trust everything that you see no more, and that the deception is at an all-time high. And you know that you got to get your information from pretty much from different places where people are sending videos from their personal devices or whatever, like with feet on the ground in different locations, to get the real true news of what's really going on out here, because you know they're not going to tell you what's really happening. And I just even saw yesterday on a video on I watch his channel a lot, and y'all can probably check his channel out, Mr. MB333. I think that's the name of his channel. Anyway, Mr. MB333, he gets a lot of this video from people who are on the ground, who see things and are recording them. And you know, this is more reliable news than you're gonna get from, you know, your television or from news stations and stuff like that. So we know the times are changing, because, you know, I see where people are hearing sounds like boom sounds, and people are witnessing streaks and stuff like that in the sky. And chosen one, listen, I just want to say this, man. I done told you before, it's not business as usual anymore. And you have to, you know, be thinking about that. I even had to think about that myself yesterday. Again, like I had to reevaluate how I'm handling my own personal situation here, because some of the same choices we used to make, we're gonna have to like get stricter and more disciplined in our decision making and in the choices we make to stay safe right now, because you already know it's increasingly more dangerous out here. Not only are we in WW3 and all of that, but y'all already know how, you know, most of y'all who are here in the United States know how they flooded our borders during the whole thing under Biden and Harris, where they let in all kinds of illegals into our country and stuff like that. So, you know, we've got foreigners and stuff moving around out here. This is the reason why, you know, chosen ones, we're the type, we are very observant of our surroundings. We know what's going on, even though we may not, you know, even though we may not have like the perfect intel about everything, we know because we are operating through the spirit of the Most High. And He has opened our spiritual eyes to see things, to see the signs before the times of everything. And then we're always in His Word every day. And we always got our full armor on, you know, out here. And we are not like the rest of society. And we keep our minds focused on the things of the Spirit. I mean, we know we're not perfect or nothing like that. We don't claim to be better than nobody, but we actually do seek the things that a lot of other people don't. And we have unplugged from the matrix. So we are known by the powers that be, and we are different. And there's no way we can ever fit in to this world. As I've said before in other videos, we are like space aliens out here. They never could recognize us. They rejected us, and they couldn't see our worth or our value because we already know they didn't have the spiritual eyes to see. And we know also that they can't see a lot of the things that we do because they're not on our vibrational level. They can't be a part of what we are a part of because they're the type that have a lot of hatred, animosity, and wickedness inside of them. And this has blinded many of them. And we know that what the word told us, that during the very end times, that the love of many would grow cold. And we know what the word told us about how, as it was in the days of Noah, so it will be in the very end times. People will be going along, eating, drinking, being married and giving in marriage and doing all the things just like they normally do, thinking that it's that it's just business as usual. And I've done told you it's not. We know it's not business as usual because we have our spirit, which gives us discernment inside of us, that God has placed His spirit inside of us. We have His spirit living inside of us that has given us discernment to witness and know, and also to give us feelings, to give us cues and indications and things that have brought us into alignment with Him and with His will. We had to go through a lot of things during a lot of the worst times in the history of mankind, especially, Chosen One, during all of that back then. And before that, leading up to that, many of us, we had to go through a lot of storms. Not only just storms of life with difficult people, but I'm talking about like literal storms, hurricanes and stuff like that, tornadoes, all kinds of natural disasters that was terrifying, and things like that. And we didn't know really how to operate during those times, and a lot of us was allowing the enemy to make us fearful during those times. And we had to navigate through all of that and still handle that and know how to deal with that. And a lot of us, we had hard times during those times. We had hard times having to deal with difficult situations, being displaced from our homes and stuff like that, and having to like go through evacuations and stuff. And then after that, we saw everything what happened with pretty much the total decay of morals in our society and our civilization, and corruption of our officials and people who are supposed to be our quote-unquote leaders, the people who are supposed to be for us, the people, which we know now are no longer for us, the people. and that they have turned against us. And a lot of this came about because of their inability to um, tell us the truth and to come to repentance and to come to the Most High and turn their lives away from their wicked and evil ways. And so you see what we're getting here now. And also we know that we can't trust them no more. We know that we cannot trust these people no more. That they have, a lot of them, most of them all have sold out. And so we are, right now, us the chosen ones are the ones who are continuing to be the ones to have to be the ones who have the big responsibility of standing for the truth and the light in a world full of darkness. Because we haven't sold out like they did. So we have a heavy responsibility, man, to be out here and to continue to encourage others not to give up, to stay strong, to hold on. And me, myself, personally, I've been having to like hold everything together here. Y'all already know, I done told y'all my story. You know, I had to go through some of the most terrible times imaginable, and then have to lose, you know, my job and my form of income and stuff like that, and had to change all of that around, and I had to, you know, navigate through all that season, and people, you know, using me, taking advantage of me, backstabbing me, and then the authorities giving me a hard time with the licenses and the regulations, coming after me, sending their officials after me to do things to me, to try to throw me off of my honest living and stuff that I was doing. And then, you know, they pretty much terrorized my life, and I had to learn how to, you know, just you know, figure out how to do things differently, and still have to figure out how to like adjust and adapt to that environment that they put me in. Because, you know, they put us in hellish environments, and they tried to make our lives a living hell, chosen ones. That's what they did to us. That's what they did to many of you. And so we had to like learn how to maneuver during all of that without crashing out, or without doing something that they wanted us to do to make us catch a case, or end up in prison, or end up unalive. And y'all already know my story. It's been since September 25th, 2024, when they shot up my house. And they shot up, you know, the house next door, and there's a lot of you know, unanswered questions right now in my life about all of that, when they came down my road and emptied a clip. And I had to dive bomb. I done told y'all the story, into my hallway and everything during that time. And then the very next night, I done told y'all in my story here on my channel that we had to go through a storm, another Hurricane Helene storm. And so during that time, we were terrified again. So that was 2 nights in a row where we thought we was gonna die. But these are a lot of the unknowns that you done came through alone, chosen one. And you didn't have no one else but the Most High to help you through those situations. And, you know, a lot of y'all are still going through what you're going through. It's including myself, still with a lot of unanswered questions about all of that and about who did that. And I know, like I done told y'all before, that they covered it all up. And I know that it was wicked and evil people who was jealous and envious of me. That's the reason why they tried to destroy my life. That's the reason why they sent all the people in the business, licensed people and stuff after me to try to shut down my landscaping business. And then we already know that, that they know who we are because we're different, and because they know that we know about them. We know that they are under control of the enemy, and we know that they are the ones who are Ephesians 6:12, the principalities and powers that be. We know who they are. And so they know who we are as well, because we carry the light, and they are agents of darkness. And so their whole agenda is to destroy us, because they know that we have the ability to awaken others to what we have seen, to the truth. So like I said, this is a great responsibility that's been placed on us, chosen ones, to do our work, to do our assignment here, to complete our assignment here before it's too late. Like I said, man, times are changing around us right now, chosen one. You know that. We're aware of that. Because, like I said, we have His Spirit that's been placed inside of us, that lives inside of us, that dwells inside of us, that guides us, that shows us, that gives us warnings. And it's like our internal guidance system that guides us during these times and during other times in our past. It has guided us away from many dangers. And a lot of dangers, y'all, you already know, have came through. And some of you have came through dangers that you didn't even know where He had His hand on you and was protecting you. You didn't even know it. And I know there's been other times, I'm sure, and certain of in my life, where I've been spared from things that I didn't even know, dangers that I didn't even know was around me, where I made a turn or I went a different way or something like that in traffic, and then later on heard that something bad happened in that area that I had turned away from and went away from, or just decided to stay home one day, and then the next day hear on the news that something bad happened to the area where I might have been at if I had not stayed home. So it's things like that that happen to us. But that's because we're always seeking His face. We're always seeking His face, and we are, like I said, we're not plugged into this matrix no more. And we are on a different level. And we are always, improving ourselves. And we are always trying to become the best versions of ourselves. And we don't have time no more for people who aren't trying to do that same thing. We're only gonna seek out others who seek the same things we seek right now during this season. And there's still a lot of things that are unknown right now. These are uncertain times. And as I told y'all before, anything can happen at any moment. But we're not afraid, because we know that He has us under His wing and under His care. We know that whenever it's time for us to get up out of here, that's when He's going to take us. But until then, we have to be strong, and we have to continue to fight this fight, man, every day. It's not easy, man. Y'all already know it's not easy, chosen one. It's still not easy. You've been abandoned by a lot of people. You know, you got people who you know are out there who are like-minded like you. But what I mean is, many of y'all chosen ones, you don't have nobody in your immediate area or nothing like that who is there to support you or to give you no kind of like, and you know, a lot of people are just opportunists out here and just want to take advantage of you out here. So the only people who you really have is the people who are on your same wavelength. And those people are the type of people who you attract in. Those are the type of people who's going to see like this kind of content you're putting out. Those are the type of people who's going to be part of your awakening and stuff like that, or part of being or part of the awakening. What I mean is like the awakening of like people to see through the illusion, the matrix and stuff like that. Those are the type of people you attract, and you attracting the type of people who are like you, who want the same things you want: peace, love, light, happiness, and the things that come from the Most High. Those are the type of people you're going to be seeking out. Those are the type of people who you're going to be attracting into your life, because you are like a magnet. You're going to attract in the people who are like you, and you're not going to no longer stoop yourself down to go back down to where you came from, because you done fought through too much to come up out of too much for too long, chosen one. And you still have a lot of fight left in you, and you're going to fight to the very end, because that's what you have to do. You have to endure. You know that you have to, and you know that you can't lose. You know that's what they've been waiting for you to do for the very longest. You know that's the reason why they couldn't wait for you to fall off, so they could celebrate, so they could dance and say that your God was not real, and that your God left you, and that you were being punished by God, and that you know that you were fake. But you know you wasn't never fake, and you know you knew the truth the whole time, and you know that they was all the ones who were clowns and didn't know the truth, and wanted to, you know, stay in the matrix and stay in the illusion and continue to do the same thing and stay the same. They're the type of people who are always going to stay the same, chosen one. A lot of them, they still got that high school mentality. And you know that, you know, this is not a time like high school no more. You know that this time that we are in is to be taken very seriously right now. Things could get very bad very fast. Things can change on a dime. You already know. You know, time is not promised, not even tomorrow, for none of us. Our time that we have here right now, we can't waste it no more. This is what we came here to do, put in this work, and to be an encouragement for the other chosen ones who are like us, man. The other ones like us who know, because we know and we see what's going on. We understand what they're doing, what they've been planning to do, and what they have been trying to do to us the whole time, for a very long time, because we refuse to become like them. So they wanted us to become like them and to, you know, turn away from what we knew was the truth for temporary things of this world, or to compromise, to make ourselves less than, for the illusion that we would become more than. But we already know that that was an illusion, and that we would not become more than just because of what we have in the form of material possessions and things like that. We don't store up our treasures here on this earth because we already know this whole earth is going to burn. We store up our treasures in heaven by doing things like what we do. You know, what we do by encouraging, uplifting, helping others, being there for others when no one else is. And that's what they couldn't never see, because a lot of us chosen ones, we are empaths. And we are empaths. They are a lot of them are narcissists, these people who we've had to deal with in our life. And they wanted only to control us and to manipulate us. And these could have been even members of your own family. And they could have been anyone. Even in your church, your fake church, or wherever you go to, your job, they're everywhere. They're all out here. They're all around you, chosen one. And so anyway, there's a lot of unknowns that you've came through alone. Even myself personally, even having to scrap metal just to get parts on my car so I could find a way to make other, you know, side hustles and stuff like that, so that way I could pay my bills, and that way I could come through times where I didn't know how I was going to make it. And a lot of you came through a lot of that same stuff, man. A lot of you many of you chosen ones had to do things because nobody else was going to help you, and you knew no one was coming to save you. But he already equipped you with everything you needed through all the different experiences you went through. You learned a lot. A lot of y'all are jack of all trades, man. You know, because of the things they put you through. You had to learn how to fix everything on your own, do everything on your own, do it yourselfers. Your hands are blessed. You can fix things. So, you know, a lot of you had to do a lot of that. Had to fix things on your own, man. You had to do things on your own. But you made it through, and you did it. You did it. So, congratulations, man. But that was the message I just wanted to leave with you, and I don't want to go too long on the video because I'm going to go ahead and upload this morning. But the main thing what I want to just remind you is, you know, that we are different, chosen one. We are not like them. And we have a responsibility here. And, you know, we're going to finish what we came to do no matter what. And we're not going to lose. Even though they didn't accept us and they couldn't see us and they could never have no value for us or understand us. We were misunderstood and stuff like that. And they was always all up in our business trying to figure us out, and they never could, and they never can, and they never will figure us out. And the reason why is because a lot of them are not willing to put into work. And until they're willing to put into work, we don't have time for them no more. And even when they are willing to put into work, we still don't have time for none of them no more, because they already showed us who they were. So anyway, but like I was saying though, y'all already know that, chosen one, and you know that that we're not like them, and that it's getting very different right now, and a lot of things are getting really crazy and weird, and we know that it's been like the Twilight Zone for a very long time ever since that, and we know that a lot of people out here cannot be trusted. So I just wanted to remind y'all of that, and remind you that there's a lot of things happening right now, so just stay safe out there. And for each and every one of you who have still been able to keep your mental health during all this, and to be stable in your mind without losing your mind, shout out to you all, and props to you all, and hey, good job, congratulations, because I know how it is, man. And thank you to all of you, my day ones, who have supported me and kept me to help me keep my head during all this. Other ones who are like me, and other chosen ones. Shout out to every one of you. And you know who you are. And each and every one that continues to help me and help my channel to grow. Love, light, peace, blessings to you all. We're gonna make it through this together. And yeah, so I just wanted to leave that with you today, man. And that's the message for today, man. Chosen one, you done came through a lot of the unknown alone, with no one else but God. Don't ever forget that. And be aware of all these fakes and snakes, and make sure that you are very, very careful with any of them if they ever try to come back into your life ever again. All right? So till the next one, I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. All right, man? Peace. I'm out.